right in an apple. And so it's got all the delicious elements between the gooey, warm, spiced filling, and then it has this pretty lattice crust that's buttery and flaky, and then the best part of it all is that the shell or the baked apple is completely edible. Since my pastry needs to chill, I'm going to start on that first. So I'm using a food processor, but you can also do this with a pastry cutter or just buy store-bought, but I wouldn't recommend doing this with your fingers because your fingers can radiate a little bit of heat. So in my processor, I'm going to toss in a little bit of unbleached flour, a sprinkle of fine salt, some granulated sugar, and I'm going to pulse it together with my ice cold butter, my unsalted butter that I just have up in cubes. I'm going to pulse it together until it becomes kind of lumpy. When your flour takes on a crumbly look, you want to tip in just a little bit of ice cold water, just a little at a time until it gets bound together. So just a little bit and let it whirl. I just tipped in not even half of my water. It really will depend on the climate, if it's dry or if it's wet outside. So this is just not even half the water, and it came together like that. So I'm just going to wrap it up in plastic and pop it into the refrigerator for it to chill and cool. This next part will take a bit of coaxing, but essentially we're just going to cap off the top and then we're going to hollow it out, but just make sure you maintain its integrity because you don't want to scoop out too much and then it'll just kind of flop over. So just be careful about that. I've just chopped up my apple scoops and now I just want to zest a lemon into it. After it's been zested, just the juice. Next, the apples, I want to sprinkle in just a little bit of fine salt. And then I've got a combination of brown sugar and then cinnamon and nutmeg. It's best if you freshly grate yours, but you can also just use the pre-ground up, that's fine. And then finally I'm going to sprinkle in just a little bit of potato starch, but you can also use flour if you don't have it and just give it all a toss together. And now I'm just filling the cavities up so the apples go back where they came from. And if you happen to have any of this filling or pie pastry crust left over, it's actually a great thing because you can use the leftover bits and you can make apple pie hand pies. You can also use the crust to make your own Hot Pockets with cured meats and maybe some pizza sauce or some mozzarella, make your own homemade Hot Pockets, or sometimes I've even grated in some pepperoni romano or some Parmesan Reggiano and made crackers. So really the possibilities are endless and it's a great thing if you have any left over. Now we can focus on the pastry. Whenever you're rolling stuff out, try not to use so much flour. It really will kind of impact the crust in a way that's not good. So I'm going to lightly flour my tips of my fingers and my rolling pin, and maybe just a tiny sprinkle on the surface of my pastry. I'm just going to roll it out. And now with your rolled out dough, you can make little slits or strips with it, so we can make a lattice crust on top of our baked apples. My oven is preheating, and I really like to do that right now so it's not just sitting there idly because I don't really know exactly how long when I bake or make things it'll take me. So it's preheating right now, and I just want to dab the crust with a little bit of butter. And if you're busy doing something else while you're assembling these, just make sure that you pop them into the freezer so that the crust doesn't get soggy, because you want to ensure a really flaky, light, crispy crust. So just dab with a bit of butter and then go in there and sprinkle with some coarse raw sugar. Sugar in the raw works best because the aesthetic is just very nice because you can actually see the granules of sugar, but if you don't have it, regular granulated sugar works well too. And then I'm just going to pop these in when my oven beeps and they're ready to go, and I'll show you what they look like.